wonderful Easter weekend. So my plan for this week, because I've got some that are really needing to not do quite as much work. They don't have as much access to the computer. So I'm going to try to start combining 2 lessons in one. And for those of you that have more time, you can spend longer with the work. You can do more practice. For those that don't have as much time, you're at least getting the lesson, and then you can do the smaller amount of practice. All of this is very self-explanatory, but I wanted to point out these two, similar and congruent, because if you'll notice, they're all triangles. Similar is going to have the very same shape, but it's not going to be the same size. Where congruent, they're going to be both the same shape and the same size. So, like one is just going to be a littler version of the other to be similar, where congruent is going to be exactly the same. Now, even though these are both triangles, they would not be similar because they're different shaped triangles. It's only about size when it comes to similar. Again, all of this is self-explanatory. On the next page, page 245, we're going to do a little work with these. Congruent angles, right angles, acute angles, obtuse, straight. And all of this is just, again, facts that you can read. But we aren't as familiar with this vocabulary, and that's why I want to go over it some. So congruent angles, just like with the shapes. Hold on, it's going to shake a minute. Got to put you down. Sorry, had to get my lid off. Okay, just like with the congruent shapes, they are going to be the same size and the same number of degrees. A degree is the distance that is formed by an angle. So remember, this part out here is called your vertices. This in here, if you measured that with the type of measurement you would need, this is your degree of the angle. So if they have the exact same size degree of angle, then they are congruent angles. If your angle is straight up and down, like an L, this is going to be what's called a 90-degree angle, also known as a right angle. Now, this has nothing to do with if it's facing right or left. Okay? It could be like this. It could be like that. It doesn't matter. It's just if that angle inside is 90 degrees, then it's a right angle. We see right angles all the time in real life. These are right angles. The shelf forms a right angle. But you can see these angles on the pencil sharpener, they're a little squishier, so they may not be right angles. Your door frames are going to form right angles unless you have shoddy craftsmanship, in which case they might not form right angles. Some of the angles in my house are not right angles. Now, the next two type of angles I want to talk about aren't a certain measurement. It's all based on that 90-degree right angle, though. If your angle is less than that, so if it's a smaller angle than that, see how this is like, it's closing. It's almost like if a book is closing. If this book is open like this and it's starting to close, this is called acute. An acute angle is going to be a smaller number. So what I think of it is as, oh, it's such a cute little angle. And you will even have triangles that are called acute triangles because all of their angles are smaller. Such a cute little triangle. Okay. But if that book is falling open farther, if it's more than 90 degrees, that's called obtuse. And so I think of it like this. See, he's got that big old O. That's a big old belly. He's a big old angle. He's obtuse. And then finally, straight angles are 180 degrees. What does that look like to you? So if this were the angle, it looks just like a book laying open flat, right? That means that angle is completely flat. It goes from one side to the other side. That is called straight angle. Now, if you'll remember, you learned about those back here with line segment. A line segment, by its very nature, would have a straight angle. Some shapes are going to have straight angles. Some are going to have, see, like this has acute angles. These have right angles. Right here is an obtuse. Right here is an acute. Even though this is slanted, these are all going to be right angles. Because it's basically just this, just looped a little bit, tilted a little bit. All of these are right angles. It takes all those angles to make most of the shapes. And then here, a simple closed figure does not have a point of intersection. In other words, it's just closed up. It doesn't have anything like that. It's not open where stuff can get out. It's closed up. All right, that's your lesson. That is both Monday and Tuesday's lessons, and I will have the assignments in the grade book. In the My Schoolworks.